Welcome back, everybody, to the A Show with the kings of wrestling podcasting. We are here. We are fresh off Wrestlemania weekend. Oh my God. We are here with the A Show. And today stands for, well, the A stands for a lot of talking by me because I have my co host here on the line, Justin, OG Johnny 5. Say a couple words for them, my man.
We're back. We're back. Listen, my voice is 80%. Yesterday it was 60. So, yeah. It's a long weekend, man.
Sounded like a good weekend. I mean, if that's any indication of how this weekend was, this is the perfect indication of how this weekend was. The man no longer has a voice. Maybe if it was one day of WrestleMania, might have been ready. But 2
I
days of WrestleMania?
I went too crazy. On on night 1. But it was Stone Cold.
Night one
Uh,
was the night. Night one was the night, though. If you had to go crazy on any night, that's the one.
it was Bianca. I was just yelling, "She's different. We've never seen anything like this before." Just yelling that shit. Just ugh.
Oh my God. All right, you know what? That is funny as fuck. I can't wait to hear all these WrestleMania stories. So, pretty much anyone who listens to this podcast, yes. I mean, we got Justin on an 80% voice, but that doesn't mean you're not going to get this episode. That doesn't mean we're not going to talk about the things we're going to talk about. That just means you're going to have to hear Justin talk about it in a very different voice, and also, just the sacrifices we make to have this thing continue on a weekly basis. Um, the first thing I want to do is personally from me to you, want to congratulate you on the amp, black print amp, Amazon, that sort of thing. From me to you, I definitely want to congratulate you. Like, we've been doing this for quite some time at this point. We've been doing this for a lot of years. We've been partners in this for a lot of years. So for this to become an opportunity that to work with AMP, which is, to be honest, I had very much so fun on that app when I was playing with it a couple weeks ago. So I'm
Mhm.
seeing big things for this. But just want to congratulate you and Josh, man. Listen, this is a big deal. This is a big deal for RNC Radio. So I'm just ecstatic in general. But, just it's the continuing it inspires me, especially the risk you take and everything that you've done and kind of where you're at currently when you look at the flash shot from 2015 to now, and kind of like the trajectory. You've done a very great job, my friend, so I want to really congratulate you on everything. This is just the beginning, even though we're like deep into this, but I want to congratulate you on everything, bro.
Thank you. Thanks. It was you'll be able to hear about the machinations of this deal on the black print this week. It just came out today. And it's incredibly humbling and really, really awesome that we were able to close this deal. I'm still kind of like, me and Josh were like, damn, we really got to do this shit now. But we can do it, and we're going to be providing you guys with just so much cool shit. Just guests and content and all that stuff. So like, if you haven't listened to the Black Print, we're 7 episodes in. It's one of the best podcasts in the game right now, and we're going to be taking that to Amazon AMP. But it's not going to be like the podcast. It's going to be an extension of the podcast. So that's going to be the coolest part about it.
I love it. I love it. This is just an amazing thing. So, congratulations to both you and Josh, who were both in Dallas this weekend. I'm interested to hear all the stories regarding that. I'm just interested to see Josh geeked about professional wrestling for a couple days. That shit. I mean, you were there. All right. So, you know what? We got a lot to talk about. We got a lot to talk about. But because WrestleMania is on the line. We got 2 nights of WrestleMania. We got a Monday Night Raw after WrestleMania. I think what we should do now is we should move over to the Patreon side of things and begin that conversation, and talk about these experiences you had, and talk about a little bit about Stand and Deliver and all these other things that we're going to talk about on the Patreon, and then we get back to WrestleMania. And I feel like your voice is like it's trying to creep back into the conversation as we're doing this. So I'm hoping by the
Yeah.
time we get off Patreon, it will be back. But how about this? Let's move to the Patreon right now. We'll be right back for the main feed. Okay. WrestleMania weekend, the bachelor party of all bachelor parties, the group of all groups, man. I haven't talked to you about it like just on the phone. This is my first time hearing your voice, so this is still very funny to me.
I keep muting my mic so that I can kind of get the frog out.
Yeah,
He ain't coming.
he ain't coming. I mean, I don't know. It might be a little. You might need to coax the vocal cords.
Listen, I've done tea. I've done everything. This is a deep cut. This is a deep cut. First of all, I forgot to thank them on public, but thanks to everybody who did our Mania show uh
Ooh,
last
thank
week.
them on public. We'll be right back, baby.
Yeah, we gotta thank them. We got well, thanks to them, but thanks to you guys for listening. Uh, where do you even start? I feel like I'll be telling stories about last week for the rest of my life. I'm not
how,
gonna lie.
how about this? Let's start. I'm sure I mean, you were there since Wednesday, but Wale Mania was Thursday. How was just
Yes.
that kind of thing, just in general? I've been to Wale Mania. It was an amazing time when I went in New York City. Met so many different cool people. Saw so many great people, so many great performances, a lot of surprises. You walked into Wale Mania. First of all, rolling deep, by the way, because you got the whole team with you. You got Mark, you got Ty, you got Josh, you got Roddy, you got Dom, you got Eric, you got Pat, you got everybody.
Yeah.
Cyrus.
It was like a pilgrimage, right? Like it's like a lot of them. What I wanted to do was have them experience why I love this shit so much, right?
Mhm.
And the community behind it and how we intersect with that culture. And I'm sorry my voice sounds so fucking cartoonish as I say this serious shit, but like I wanted to um
Wait a minute now.
I really well it's gonna leave again. See, it's gonna leave again. But like my voice will come back in times it'll leave again. But I wanted them to experience this stuff. And it was just so great to see my best friends. These are my, obviously you too, but these are some of my best friends in the world. And I wanted them to understand why I loved it so much. So like Josh was so excited in the superstore. Mark was so excited. Everyone was so excited. I got to make my own entrance. We should put that up on Patreon. My Edge entrance.
That was classic, man. I was legitimately happy. I've been having a week. So just
Yeah.
seeing that just in general just made me so happy of you doing that. So I appreciate you sending that to me. I will definitely put that on the Patreon for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. No, we gotta put that on there. It was just so great. Just listen, no one shuts the shit down like WWE will shut a city down. This is NFL level. It's different. No one can do it the way that they did this last weekend. It was almost like you were at Comic Con, and I went to Comic Con in San Diego before, and it was just everything was about them. The Omni Hotel said WrestleMania on it. When you drove on the highway out there, you couldn't escape it.
That is fucking awesome, bro. Like I love WrestleMania season just because of stuff like that, right? Like when you say they take over a whole city, it's like it's crazy to consider that they can kind of like really claim the town, but they do. I mean, they boost the economy, they do everything like that, and the fact that it's 2 days now just means it's even more. But it's WrestleMania Shit, man, it's just one of the best time. Like seeing everybody geeked about it. That was the most happy part for me. Seeing all the photos from everybody in our community and stuff like that, and not only just our friends, but like people who are just in this Black wrestling Twitter space. Seeing you guys link up with
A lot.
bands.
I met a lot. I met a lot of people. I met a lot.
Okay.
I finally met Dion, and Dion was sorry. I got a notification. It's a lot of boss nigga discount shit
Woo!
happening now. Boss nigga discount. Hate to bring that over here, but Dion was like our tour guide. He was our tour guide, bro. And I love Dion so much. Like he was just so great. He got annoyed with us though, because we are older. He was trying to move, and I'm like, yo, we slower. We older than you. You know what the biggest one was?
What happened?
You- I finally met Dom Griffin. They surprised me with Dom, and I didn't think he was gonna show up. But Dom, if you are in our Discord, he's just such a great addition to the community and to our community. And I've known Dom for almost a decade, and I finally got to meet him, and that was just so beautiful.
First of all, I completely sympathize with you on the young nigga shit because I remember when Jamal was out here in New York City, he was trying to move a lot, and me and Jeff were like, "Yo, we are like, that is not how we operate currently. We got
Yes.
knees and joints and all type of shit. Like we're just like, nah, I can't move into the night the way he was moving, especially through New York City. Nah, that shit isn't G. But you know what? We appreciate Dion anyway because Dion just in general, I mean, he was, had a little snafu at the Wale Mania, but I think everyone at the end of the day enjoyed themselves. And just experiencing just kind of meaning it, that's kind of where it is like when I go to these wrestling shows in New York City too, it's like I know I'm gonna have a great time because I'm gonna see Rob and I'm gonna see Nelson and I'm gonna see Armand and I'm gonna see Jeff J and I'm gonna see Kaz and I see Chris sometimes and I see kind of everyone in the New York City area. Sometimes I see Manny or like a lot of different people, and it's that's the cool part about going to these wrestling shows. Sometimes it's like you see it's like a family because we are this family on Twitter and stuff like that, and not a lot of us get along or whatever the fact it is. But when you're able to see each other for the first time, you're able to embrace and then able to enjoy this thing just in general. I know you also hang out with Cornell too. Shout
Yeah, yeah. It was me and Cornell and Omas at Wally Mania in the section. And uh hey man, like Omas is a cool guy. He had his moment at Wally Mania. He rapped PSA. But after he did that, he came up and fucked with us, and it looked like he was my security guard. And it was just awesome, man. Like we had such a fucking blast, and it was just the community side of it. It sucks I wasn't able to meet Mimi. We were just like two ships passing in the wind. There was just so much stuff going on. But saw her, saw uh the franchise who's on Twitter as well. I saw was that
what? Go ahead.
oh I saw who else did I meet? I met oh my god, it was so many people I saw.
You saw Jalen. I know you said you saw Jalen.
Oh yes. Saw Jalen. Oh my fucking god. Saw Jalen. What a cool kid, man. I love him to death. You already know I got a soft spot in my heart for that kid. He kicked it with us. Hopefully it's not the last time we see each other, but it was just so many people to name, man. Saw Littlefoot, saw everybody there. It was just so crazy. It was crazy. It was a crazy experience. Um, but I'll talk about my actual in the stadium stuff. You'll probably have to take over the mania part
Yeah,
for me
of course.
a little.
I know. At this point, I'm beating you over the head with it. But go.
But we gotta talk about NXT Stand and Deliver. I watched, or in the Hall of Fame too. I watched both from an iPad in the hotel room.
All right, you know what? I can steer the course on the stand and deliver stuff and the Hall of Fame stuff. So Friday after SmackDown, which I agree with you, a nothing show. I watched it, but it was nothing that happened. The two
Yeah.
promoted main events happened the first two matches of the show, and they both were just questionable. I mean, I love Ricochet, so I'm glad that he retained. But the whole like, Madcap Moss winning thing, I was like, is this? You know what? I was like, whatever. Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal doesn't really matter anymore. Um, but that Hall of Fame ceremony, I mean, I love that. Here's my kind of thing. I love that it was such an abridged. People are like, "Oh, that's it." I love that it was an abridged kind of class because I feel like we've experienced all these Hall of Fame ceremonies over the last like maybe like 4 years that have gone on forever. And last year we had to have two for like 2020, 2021, and even that I feel like got messed up in a way because it was so abridged, because it was so edited, because it was in front of no people, that it just didn't even feel like the Hall of Fame kind of feel to it. But this year I felt like they managed to transform the SmackDown ring. They managed to get everybody out on the stage and away from people, and so people wouldn't jump in and try to attack Bret Hart or something along those lines. Um, but they managed to do a great setup. We got a very surreal experience in seeing Scott Steiner back in a WWE ring and taking pictures with Triple H. Listen, I feel like Triple H himself doesn't really have any grudges that he holds. And then also Scott Steiner is like, yo, and I deserve this. So what is the point of actually like going back and forth with this whole feud thing and like bygones be bygones? This shit was 20 years ago. Like no one cares anymore.
Right.
Um,
And I feel like people expected him to wild out, and for the sake of his nephew, he is not going to wild out anymore out there.
Absolutely, because I mean, there's so much. He's essentially his nephew is like pretty much the future of the company at this point. We'll talk about it on Monday Night Raw, but that was cool. Charmel, a lot of people had a lot of things to say regarding her induction to this, but
Loved it. I loved that shit. I loved it. It was
one of yeah, it was just classy, incredibly, you know, I love that from the standpoint of seeing not only just a black female getting her flowers and stuff, a black woman getting her flowers, excuse me. Um, but the way she spoke and how she put her time in the wrestling business and how she seems, eternally grateful for the opportunity because not only this opportunity allowed her to travel the world and just be kind of a superstar, but she met her husband, she had her family. It's not part of the family business. She just seemed eternally grateful for this opportunity. And I think that's kind of what this Hall of Fame is really about.
yeah, I loved Booker. Love it was just genuine. You had the Shad thing, hard to watch. Not gonna lie, that was really hard to watch. But it was really sweet, and
Hmm.
I thought his wife was handled it really well and told some really great stories, and surprisingly a lot of laughs in her speech for it to be such a sad topic, you know?
Yeah, I agree. I feel like, I mean, even us talking about this like a year or so ago, or more than a year ago at this point, it affected us. And to see the strength of her and their son and getting up and speaking about this whole situation, about their dad's a hero, I'm glad he got honored because, I think a lot of people wanted him honored last year. I'm glad we got to this point where we're honored this year. To be honest with you, I feel like this was a spectacular WrestleMania weekend, and we got a lot out of it. So seeing that was incredible. Seeing Vader, Vader's family. I think Vader, despite his I guess you could say his time in the WWE was up and down. It was very abridged. You thought it would have worked out better, but it didn't. But I think ultimately his contributions to the wrestling business, just in general, I mean, when you hear the stories about him, I think if I would tell anyone to go back to listen to anything about Vader, it's that Stone Cold Steve Austin podcast he released. I mean, he was still alive when he did it. Uh,
Yeah.
but it's I would go back to listen to that because that one eye opened was an eye opener to me and kind of all these experiences and made me really look up and appreciate Vader just more than being Frankie's dad off of Boy Meets World. Um, so that was a great experience, and then the Undertaker, which was
I haven't finished it yet.
you haven't seen the Undertaker one?
I haven't finished it. It's like 50
Oh no,
minutes. It's
yeah, that shit is long.
to 10 of it is just them cheering.
He gets in his bag. The cheering thing was incredible. I thought that was when you look at when you look at the Dallas crowd at that show, and then you look at the Dallas crowd on Monday Night Raw, you can tell they're kind of in the same spot that you're in. Because they gave so much of their energy and so much of their love and so much of everything moving forward. And sorry, that's my my heater in the background. But they gave so much of everything moving forward to that man for the contributions that he gave over the last 30 years. And to see Undertaker inducted into the Hall of Fame, we always knew it would happen one day, but just kind of experience it and live it itself. I thought that was just the way he decided to give this, give things back, talk about his experiences, talk about who had the most effect on his life and his career and just in general. I thought it was very um it was as real as it gets, if I could quote a Jay-Z and Jeezy song. It was as real as it gets. I appreciate it. They gave him the little Janet Jackson headset. I was with it. And he just spoke from the heart. And I thought that was, I won't spoil the end for you, but I'm pretty sure you have an idea of what happens at the end. But um it was just a great experience.
It really was. Once I finish it, I'll give my review. But he had just started talking
Oh, yeah.
when I it was just so like what happened was after uh um after Mania, I try and watch the show back, and I just got drowned by uh I just got drowned by like so much content. It was too much content to take in. Like I'm trying to watch the Cody return video where he was in the van in the bus and all that shit. I was like, yeah.
I watched his I watched his is it a media scrum? If it is, I watched it, and I watched all
I watched
three.
and I watched everything Cody last weekend because and we're gonna talk about this during the Mania section. How fascinating is this? Like it's legitimately the most fascinating thing right now in wrestling to me in terms of just story and trying to read between the lines of like, is this motherfucker for real? Like,
That is so. I mean, this is. I feel like this. Again, we'll get into it more when the Mania thing comes on, but um, it's incredible. Just kind of everything surreal, everything that kind of went down this weekend. Moving gears from Friday night to Saturday, the matinee show, NXT Stand and Deliver. I'm kind of now that I hear your voice, I'm very much so glad that you didn't go to that show. Uh, because I feel like you might have been cooked on the way to WrestleMania, or maybe not. I don't know. It was. I thought it was. If I have to give my overall thoughts on it, so to just in the interest of you not fucking continue to strain your voice. If I had to give my overall thoughts on the show, I thought it was a good show. I thought it's a NXT is kind of in this place where they're still trying to. I don't think it's going to be the black and gold era, so I don't. We're not going to expect the. I think I'm used to like banger after bang, and you know what? All these matches were good. Don't get me wrong; all these matches were good, um, but it just had a different feel to it. It didn't have the, and I think it's more so because it was the matinee show, because it was for WrestleMania. It felt like the opening to so many things, as opposed to kind of its own event. Um,
and honestly, I was worried, but like, I was worried that people wouldn't get there in time, but like the show didn't end up starting till 7. So like you had time to like do whatever you needed to do and then get to the show. So like if you did do all of them, it's crazy, but you had time, you know? And I think the show was like I think the show was really good. I mean, what was the dud match to me on that? That I just really I can't think of a bad match on. There wasn't a bad match on the show.
it was chomping. What's his face? Tony.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't think that kid's got it. I don't think D'Angelo's got it. I think they wasted a lot. Like for them to waste that really touching moment with Triple H on that match was crazy to me. Like I'm like D'Angelo. I just don't see it for him. What do you think?
No, I mean, I agree with you to an extent. I think it's more so if this was Tommaso Ciampa's send off. I think they really wanted to. I think they really want to continue to bestow that NXT 2.0, and I'm talking about the Grayson Wallers, the Braun Breakers, the Carmelos, I guess the Tony D'Angelo, and I think they want to continue. And I do think they want him to be a part of the show because at the end of the day, whether or not he can go in the ring as well as he is, he's a character and an entertainer, and I think that's what they're looking at more than anything else. And they're hoping that the in-ring stuff can follow afterwards, since he's still relatively new to all of this. Um, but just overall, I see it's definitely. I don't think it holds up alongside like the things that we see on this show. Like, I don't think he's gonna be at the height of a Braun Breaker or a LA Knight or Gunther or anything like that. Um, I just thought it was an interesting send off. I really thought I was like, oh, it's interesting. He's putting the kid over, but I don't even feel like that was worthy of Tommaso Ciampa's last NXT match. If this is truly his last NXT match,
I
um,
think it was.
I mean, it sounded like it. We also had Cameron Grimes winning the NXT North American Championship
You're like
ladder match.
you're like, I've been fooled before. I think he's done though. I really do think he's done.
Yeah, no, I. Here's the thing. Here's the thing that which I talk about more on, lends more to the Monday Night Raw conversation. I'm done expecting call ups because they're never calling these fucking people up.
Well, they're not calling them up in the traditional sense.
Right, right, right.
You know,
They have to
like
repackage them and add, a whole bunch of other clearances and a whole bunch of other stuff that comes
yeah,
with it. So,
which is fine. Like I don't mind what they're doing with like Braun. In fact, I think the integration between the two shows has been completely organic. So would you rather that or all right, boom, nigga just pops up. You don't know who the fuck. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not like oh Monday after Raw, they just pop up out of nowhere and show who they are and then walk back to backstage. You know, I want them to have something built out. So I'll wait and see on that.
no, I agree with you. But Cameron Grimes winning the North American Championship, I thought it was a great moment. I felt like he was going to win it. Um, Great touching moment, especially considering he dedicated this to his father. A lot of different things, and Cameron Grimes is someone that we've always said is deserved more, and deserves more, and is getting the opportunity to show more. And I think with this North American Championship run, hopefully he'll be able to continue to, propel this division that features. I mean, the match featured Carmelo Hayes, Santos Escobar, Solo Sikoa, and Grayson Waller, which is a great mid card division for NXT 2.0 at this point. So everyone looks like a bright future going into this, and I was very happy with that match. MSK defeated Imperium and the Creed brothers to win the NXT Tag Team Championships. I'm interested to see where they go from here with MSK. Since I don't know, a lot of people they seem to feel a kind of way about them.
Yeah,
It'll be
th-
interesting if they pull they decide to move forward with like a heel turn or something along those lines.
there's been so much like it's just like crazy, right? Like it's like every time they're about to get hot, something derails them, right? And it's like obviously I'm talking about now these allegations against Nash Carter. And it's like they got like a dark cloud over them that's like really like aiming to fuck them up. And I hope that they figure it out because I was watching the show with Cyrus and I was like, I said this before the match and I said, I feel like MSK is winning this because they're the only ones that have an actual story coming out of this.
Mhm.
And the Creed brothers look like they have a story coming out of this. And they're also not ready for the titles. I'll just be clear. But because I feel like the bigger guy, I don't think he's quite there yet, but the younger guy is. But like,
I
um,
I feel like the bigger guy actually is. I don't know. It's very weird.
you're talking about the thicker one or the tall one?
I'm talking about the taller one. I think it's Julius Creed. I think
No,
he probably.
no, he's ready. The other one, the blonde one's not ready to me.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. Yeah.
He's not ready. He's not ready. The tall one could be a singles right now, and he'd be the most exciting thing on the show, in my opinion.
I
But But I was like, are they gonna win this? And they won it. And I said, I hope they know what they're doing, knowing that he's got all these allegations going against him. But that seems to be its own shit show. So if I was a company, I'd be like, whatever. You know what I'm saying? I'd be like, whatever. Figure that shit out. And we could just strip them of the titles. But like, I hope they get their shit together in terms of just like what's happening now.
I agree. Mandy Rose retains the NXT Women's Championship in the Fatal Four Way. I think this is probably the best that Mandy Rose has looked, but also she was in, we were in the ring with like great all star competitors and stuff like that. But I think this is the best that she's looked. I've never felt her as more of a champion than now. And it's interesting this reign that she's kind of having right now because I didn't think this would last this long. I didn't think she would be a pillar of this division. I don't think that she would be like considered like have a reign kind of similar because now she's entering like the in my opinion she's entering the Shaynas, the Rhea, the that kind of level of reign. She's still not at Asuka point yet, or
Yeah.
Bailey point, but I think she's entering like, even Sasha. I think it's even that level because I feel like Sasha, had some great matches and stuff like that as well. But I think she's entering that point where she's becoming the stalwart of this division, which is good for her. And I hope it lends to, a lot more of her confidence with a lot of things in ring. But it's definitely showing that she's not only can she hold her own, but maybe she can even begin to lead, possibly. Like I think
Io just need to go. Io just need to go, man.
you don't need to go. I don't want her back.
I don't want to see her on this show on Tuesday. I feel bad for Dakota, bro.
I feel bad for Dakota too. I was like, why y'all got her winning this thing? This poor girl.
Like, god damn, man, let her go. Get off her dick, man.
Yeah, like come on, man. Like it just is what it is. I don't know where they're going with this. Like I said, I just stopped expecting stuff. Gunther defeated LA Knight. Uh,
Good match. Good ass match.
good solid, between sports entertainer and professional. Nah, I mean it's just great.
Wow. Gunther is absolutely a sports entertainer because you know why? He's got a gimmick now, and it's that chop. And he'll do that chop. He could do that chop whether he's a babyface or a heel. If he does that chop, you're gonna get a reaction, whether he's a good guy or a bad guy. You're gonna cheer it when he's a good guy, or you're gonna say, "Ooh," if he's a bad guy.
Absolutely. I want to talk about the NXT Championship match on Raw. So is that okay?
Yeah, no, we shouldn't talk about the main event because people were confused and upset, and I was like, "Let it play out." And then, literally 2 days later,
I, let's talk about it when we hit Monday Night Raw. I mean, but that was NXT Stand and Deliver, right? Like this other event that kind of happened. I watched it. I thought I would miss it, and apparently it came on later than I thought it would. I thought I would miss it for real.
it went at 1 o'clock, right?
Yeah, it went on at 1 o'clock. I was like, what the fuck? Okay. Um sure. But I think just in general, I mean, we need more of these NXT takeovers. I think this NXT Stand and Deliver show, if we're gonna do it during Mania weekend, it's a really, really big deal. It just felt like very subsidiary compared to the WrestleMania show, which I guess is fine. But I'm used to because I've been to so many of these NXT Brooklyn, NXT, SummerSlam weekend type of thing. I'm always used to it being an event, part of a night as well, and it was the matinee. It was the matinee for everything that moved forward. Um, how about this? Let's tap out of Patreon right now because we got to go into WrestleMania,
Yeah.
the WrestleMania adventure. So spend a couple seconds on mute. Hit the button. We're gonna get off of Patreon right now. So yeah, and we're back, and we're here to talk about WrestleMania 38. To be honest, one of I think we say this like close to every year at this point. I think this is like a running thing for every year, but I truly not only was this better than last year, which I thought last year was incredible as well, but this was probably this is like a top 5 mania to me. And it's I think with the payoffs, the matches, the moments, It was the the timing. Everything got timed because everything's in 2 days now. I think what this WrestleMania 38 kind of really showed was that they managed to get this 2 day formula, and they did it for the first time last year. It was cool last year, but I feel like we're finally perfecting it now because I think we got a bit of everything. And while people were complaining, people complaining like, oh, New Day didn't get the time on the Saturday show like they were intended. This is the benefit of a 2 day because they were on Sunday, and you got to see that pretty much insignificant match happen on the show. And WWE was like, "You happy? You good? You straight? All right, let's continue with the actual show itself." Um, WrestleMania 38. Talk about it to me. How was the energy in the building? How was it walking in? How was the feeling of this WrestleMania Saturday walking in with first of all you rolling deep with everybody, championship belts in tow. I've never seen so many fucking belts in my life. Um,
Hey, listen, A plus bought one, which made Josh buy one, which made Mark buy one, which made Ty buy one.
and that's how we roll.
We all had Kevin Owens, what was it, KO Mania shirts. We all had Mania, like we was a real crew. I've never done that before. You know, that was always like my dream to do that with all my homeboys, is to just have a whole crew and just roll to WrestleMania and just have our shirts. And we all did it, and I thought it was fire.
Absolutely. Um, I mean, we kick off this show, WrestleMania. I mean, I don't know if I want to. Let's talk about. I don't want to go match by match because this is just. I mean,
Can we talk about ranking this Mania? Can we talk about ranking this Mania? Because I don't want to sound hyperbolic with how I feel about this WrestleMania. But I think I watched it both nights on TV, and I was there in the building for both nights. The crowd never lagged. They never turned on anything. Anything that you heard on Twitter about, like, oh, it sounded like it was quiet, not true. It was hot every single match. Some more than others. Listen, the Johnny Knoxville shit killed them. They killed it. Bianca Becky, they killed it. They were live for everything in that building. It came across on TV too, in certain points.
absolutely. All right, let's do this. Let's do this. How about this? We're gonna go night by night, but we're not. I mean, I think what we can do is we can talk about the big encounters, the big moments, and then we can also kind of like go back down. And I was like, okay, here's the kind of cleanup with the rest of the undercard and stuff like that. But I want to talk about the one of the biggest moments. I mean, this is a story. I mean, Brandon, we love Bianca Belair and we love her redemption story, but this is a story about us and us being right and us st- letting it play out at the end of the day because we saw this. I mean, the 26 seconds at SummerSlam led to this moment right here. And I think we've never been any more prouder of Bianca Belair. And I don't think we've ever been more solidified that she is the one. And I think it's because she's able to come back from this adversity. Granted, if they had swept her under the rug after those 26 seconds, it would have been a completely different story. But the fact that
Mhm.
she managed to stay the course, managed to stay relevant, managed to continue stacking up wins, managed to get to this point right here. And Becky Lynch doing the best that she can in this moment. Becky Lynch, I think, transformed her entire style just to feed this woman. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the I feel like the amount that she gave to this. And yeah, a lot of it's for her as well, but I do feel like Becky Lynch lent so much of herself into this feud and she could still be getting cheers today. She could still be the man, but I think she compromised a lot of her character in a good way, but I think she gave so much to Bianca during this feud and it led to probably the the best match on WrestleMania Saturday. One of the best matches, arguably the best match. I mean,
It's the best match. It's the best match of the weekend. Let's just stop. Let's stop sugarcoating it. Let's stop sugarcoating it. It was the best match of the weekend. It was people that like were into that shit. There was people that was fucking with it from moment I saw. I saw black girls, little girls, standing up the whole time in my section. I saw white country Texas niggas standing up for this in my section. She is the one. Let me be clear. This was the direction. This was the direction. Stop saying that shit. This is what they were planning on doing.
I mean,
From the
nothing
moment
else
from the
to say at this
moment
point.
from the moment Sasha didn't clock in August, they said, "All right, cool, bet. This is the direction we're gonna go." 26 seconds is fucking dead. It's dead. Now you speak of it as that was
Daniel
fucked up.
Bryan's 18 seconds. That's how you speak about it, in my opinion.
What was that?
I said you speak about it similar to Daniel Bryan's 18 seconds.
Yeah, a moment that led to so much more for all of us. For all of us. The entrance with TSU, the blackest fucking entrance in WWE history. Can I say that?
You can say that because it's true. I don't
Can I
know what
say
else.
that?
It's the blackest entrance since I saw it on Twitter since John Cena had that Harlem Boys choir.
Yeah. But this top stack because it's an actual black person, not a Puerto Rican. uh, John Cena, Puerto Rican. Uh,
No,
no, this
this is incredible. This is incredible, bro.
she's the one. She's the one. Everyone I was with, it was surreal. People that I took like Eric that don't even watch wrestling, saying that was the thing that stuck with him the most because of the story. And you had Dom explaining to him the callbacks from 26 seconds to all the times that Becky beat her, how she did it, count outs, rolling the tights, trying to use the leverage on the ropes, all of that shit. None of it worked. What a story. Shout out to TJ and Molly Holly for that too.
TJ
How,
beat
how scared? Okay, in the arena or in the stadium, how scared were you at home
where
at the first
where they did the manhandled slam.
Yeah, how scared were you?
I was not scared. I was, but here's the thing: I know that they were gonna. I feel like I know. I don't know Becky Lynch personally, but I know that she knows. I know she's a student of the game, and I know that she hears everything that's going on. I know she hears the conversation surrounding 26 seconds. I know that she hears the hate, and she 100% plays it up as embraced to it. I think that was 100%. We need to do this because it's going to get the best reaction off rip, and I never expected it to lead to the end of the match, but I've 100 expected them to do that, and I thought it was just cool. Um, I was texting my boy, and he was like, "Yo, I was scared for a moment." I was like, "They got your ass, but they didn't get me." Um,
Everyone got scared. Everyone got scared. And like, you know, that's what it was for. The count out was when I was like, they got me at the count out. The count out was like, yo, I was like, okay, if she loses by count out, I'm like, okay, that's whack as fuck. Cause Mania always has a screwy ass, like a weird finish.
if you not in the main event, and we're gonna talk about the next match, right? Like, cause they kind of had, I don't know if it was a screwy finish with the Charlotte and Ronda one, but
No, I wouldn't say that.
I think you could get away with a Charlotte victory, not leaving everyone, going home kind of upset or confused because you have Stone Cold fucking Steve Austin coming out after that.
Right, right.
But again, I mean, just to kind of wrap up the things with the Bianca and Becky thing, I mean, that KOD, it felt like a slam fucking dunk, bro. Like,
Oh yeah.
that felt like an exclamation point. That felt like the thing. And um Bianca Belair does it again, runs it back. WrestleMania 38, Raw Women's Champion. It is her division now. They did not have Becky Lynch come out on Monday. Um, I think that was done on purpose just to kind of let it all sink in, just to let it all kind of breathe and get back to regular programming next week. But
Yeah.
we'll wait till the Rough Riders quit doing their thing. Um,
Yeah, Meek Mill chill.
but that was an amazing thing. I mean, while we're here, let's talk about Charlotte and Ronda since we're talking about the women at least. I thought it was a good match.
I was told that Rondo wasn't it. I was told that she wasn't over. I was told no one gave a fuck about this shit. That was all proven wrong to me. It's time for us to just stop listening to Twitter niggas in general because that match was hot. And I said during the show, they have to do something different from Bianca and Becky. They have to do something way different than what they just did. And they did. And I thought they pulled it off with Ronda having a counter for everything Charlotte did to a point where you now see Charlotte knows that she can't beat her on a regular sense. And she had to cheat to do it.
Absolutely. I feel like this match, I think what you said was hold true. As long as this match is different than the other match, it's going to be fine. Like it just can't be in any other circumstance kind of similar to this match, and I think that's what they pulled off. I don't know if I predicted it, but I felt like Charlotte was going to win, just because I feel like I always felt like we are gonna run back the Ronda thing anyway. Um, but Charlotte winning adds a little bit more to her career, takes a little bit out of Ronda, but you also get to build Ronda back up. I think Ronda herself um, needs a we needed I felt like going into this we needed a stronger story, and I think that's what we're gonna get out of this. But
Right.
Charlotte Flair retained SmackDown Women's Championship at WrestleMania. Incredible moment.
I'm fine with it. I'm fine with it. This is the beginning of their program. So like even if Ronda had won, it wasn't going to be over. So
Absolutely.
I'm fine with it.
Um
Like Becky and Bianca, like I know a rematch is coming, but that felt like to me like if they don't ever go against each other again, that's the perfect blow off to it. You know,
I agree. Let's talk about another major surprise from this weekend, and by surprise I mean not really a surprise because we told you all this like a month and a half ago.
we told you guys in February that was going to happen.
Cody Rhodes officially makes his WWE return at WrestleMania. Can I keep it a buck with you? A big old buck with you.
What's up?
He kept his music, right?
Yeah.
They need to mix and master it a little bit. I feel like I'm an audiophile a little bit, of course. So when I hear when I hear the Charlotte Flair themes, when I hear the Bianca Belair themes, when I hear the Becky Lynch and stuff like that, I know that it's loud and it's WWE has made these for the people. Cody Rhodes' theme might it's amazing, but it might need a little bit of tweaking. But
Was it like Raw? Did you feel? I didn't feel like it was too loud on the
I didn't feel like it
in the stadium.
maybe so that wasn't me. That wasn't just me. I just felt like it wasn't loud. It didn't hit me like it didn't hit me hard when it came out, but I thought it was incredible anyway that he still managed to keep his theme through all this and keep the entire gimmick as well. I mean, not that I expected him to change too much because I think at this point he has garnered the cachet and the liberty to be able to kind of, move how he wants to move. And this is kind of like what you do, right?
Right? No. I What shocked me, and this is the most fascinating uh this is the most fascinating thing in wrestling to me. He kept everything that he had at AEW. And he says in interviews with Masked Man, that's what he asked for was everything to be the same. We were waiting for the theme. It was the same theme. The crowd fucking knew it.
Hmm.
I thought it was what a moment for even at Raw they knew it. Um, what was shocking to me? WWE, they some motherfuckers, man. Like as far as marketing, they're marketing him like the new Xbox, the new PS5. When it came out, Meelz, what the Variety article was out. Mass Man announced they're talking to him after the show. What else came out?
Media Scrum. I watched that shit on Sunday, bro. I watched the
Media's
entire hour thing on Sunday where he essentially, I mean, it's beyond just that, and he has the Ariel Helwani interview, which is somewhere on this thing. By the way, shout out to Ariel Helwani because he got some great shit over the weekend. Like I'm in jealous, I'm in awe. I love his work, but it's like I don't think you could explain it any better. They treating this motherfucker like the new Xbox. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
He nailed it, and they had everything ready, comments, everything. Like Tony Khan. I mean, not Tony Khan. Get the fuck out of here. Nick Khan don't play. This is not a game. This is how
Yeah,
we do
yeah,
business now.
yeah, yeah. Not only that, the merch was out. The merch was out.
Hells, they done swapped out some what did they swap out? They swapped out a couple of them Happy Corbin tees and threw on some Cody Rhodes.
They didn't have none of them shits. They just swapped out a couple of the WrestleMania day tees. They swapped merch every day of the show. So after night one, they swapped everything with like the aftermath of the KO stuff. They had a animated KO tee, like it looked like a cartoon
Mm-hmm.
of that match, and they had the Cody merch. But you got an email. He already had. Remember, I said he was at the PC. What do you think he was doing there? What the fuck you think he was doing there?
Drawing some shit because he had some t-shirts and yeah.
Taking pictures of his merch. He had a press release like he's Michael Jordan from his own damn agent. Come on, man. He couldn't do that in AEW, bro.
They,
That shit is
they
crazy.
ain't fuck with him at all.
I think like a close second of match of the weekend. I will put that up here. I will put that up here.
That was what I was hinting at, kind of the argumentative thing, because I thought this was an incredible match as well. And I think when you talk about them managing to have him keep everything, kept his style of match. The style of
I like I
evolved over the last 6 years since he's been gone, 5, 7 years, 6 years, or whatever. And they managed to the near falls, everything of the sort. I mean, they kept it all.
uh I mean like he's not gonna wrestle Seth all the time, you know?
Yeah.
So like I still have questions about him facing an Ezekiel or, but in general, Meelz, the level of competition he has in that company is far better than what he had at AEW. Let's just be honest. You got now AJ Styles, Edge, Damian Priest, Finn Balor. Who else? I'm missing people. Roman, Brock, uh, Riddle, Randy Orton, which he's faced before, but not like this, of course.
Yeah.
Uh, you have a lot of people he could face. Even if he's not facing Seth, he's a top guy, so he's not facing no bags of water,
Right.
so to speak. He's not facing brooms out there. So like he's gonna have good matches, and he's gonna be able to cut the same promos he's able to do. And we'll talk about the Raw promo, unless you want to talk about it now. But it's like that moment,
Let's talk about it
the
later.
the ground shook on that moment, and he became one of the most talked about moments of the weekend. Whereas you could barely get him you could barely get people to talk about him when he was on Wednesday nights.
Yeah. Nah, you're absolutely right. And I think, you know what? I think just him being as candid about this, I think them playing it as like, all right, elephant in the room, let's talk about it. And I don't think at any point he had said the words AEW, but he definitely referenced it many times before. I think he, at this point, he realized, and this was kind of our problem with him, right? Like he's the EVP of the company, and like it kind of seems because he has that title, a lot of things looks different in the light. Like a lot of things, especially when you compare him to the rest of the roster. When you look at his entrance compared to the rest of the roster, it's completely fucking overkill on Wednesday nights. On Raw, I mean, it's still a little bit of overkill, but it's this is Monday Night Raw. This is WWE. They have the budget to do these things if they want to. Um, but he admits during these interviews, and I forgot what it is. I don't know if it's Wrestling Insider or Inside the Ropes or whatever these things, but I suggest everyone go check that media scrum because he's very open about. He was like, "Yo, I don't want to be an EVP anymore. It just wasn't for me. Being responsible for too many things. He just kind of wants to focus on making bread and a lot of it and being a wrestler at this point. I think that's kind of all he wants to focus on." And he talks about his experience, being hidden before coming back, meeting with Triple H, all these other things, and it's a great experience. Cody being back, this is the carpet being rolled out in the biggest form ever. And now he just kind of has to live up to the hype, right? Like he signed a multi-year agreement. He made sure to say that. He's like, it's a multi-year agreement, baby. and he's still going to do some things that he wants to do, but he signed this multi-year agreement, and now he's just got to he has he made it my sister sight on the WWE championship. I don't think that could have ever been a thing if he didn't leave and come back. So
No, not, and the thing is, because he was an EVP, because he hustled that, you know, he's able to get that leverage. And we'll talk more about Cody. I got more thoughts on Cody when we get to that promo. But
let's
yeah, it was. I think it was the second best. I haven't seen Briscoe's FTR, but this was definitely the second best match of the weekend for me.
let's talk about we're gonna get back to the rest of the matches on Saturday night, but let's talk about this main event of Stone Cold Steve Austin and Kevin Owens, because the way this rolled out, um
Masterful, masterful. 5 stars.
Stone Cold Steve Austin
5
had a 14-minute match at WrestleMania. This is longer than some of the other matches on the card. It is damn near longer than everything else on night two, including night two's main event. Um, So Stone Cold Steve Austin, I mean, we have the Kevin Owens show. It's the biggest moment in WWE. It's the biggest moment in town. I think it's done so perfectly where it happened after 11. You can kind of say, everyone, make sure you turn your television. Stone Cold Steve Austin is about to be on. I mean, that was kind of my energy when I posted the things that I posted on Twitter. It was like, yo, Stone Cold is about to come on. Let's, everyone get in formation, or the fact. Kevin Owens does his thing, and this is this great moment that he's having. Yes, Stone Cold Steve Austin out here, and he's berating him, and then he challenges him to a match, and Stone Cold Steve Austin accepts, and these motherfuckers have an actual match at
Mhm,
WrestleMania.
mhm.
It's like, oof, bruh. Tell me,
Nothing.
building. Please tell me the moment that glass broke. Please tell me.
So I would my phone would I had my phone out the whole time. Everyone with us, they put, I was like, don't put your phone down, because the moment I just kind of figure out that feeling. I was like, the moment he continues to talk, that's when the glass is gonna break. And you saw it in the video. We posted it on the A Show Twitter. The moment when the glass broke, it was without a doubt deafening. It was the biggest
Ground
pop of all.
shifted, bro. I could feel it.
You want to talk about pops from 2021? This beats all of them combined. This was the biggest pop of all time. Straight up. He comes out,
Yeah, I feel like if you measured it, it would be.
KO, give him his flowers. Give him his fucking flowers. Give him his flowers. He is one of the greats. Think about where he was. Think about the oh my god, KO's leaving because his head is in the turnbuckle, to where he's at right now, bro. He made it. He made it. If you don't win another title ever, he had a match with Stone Cold Steve Austin in 2022. He made it. You got to pay him whatever, bro.
He had the
He
Stone
did.
Cold Steve Austin match in 19 years.
Yes. Not Rock, not Cena, not Roman. KO got that. He's a star off that alone. Off that alone. Superstar. Give him, and also in the back, Nick Khan, give him the fucking title too. Off of that too. But can we just talk about how Stone Cold has booked his return? He's booked his return, how he would do it on his show. This is damn near how he booked it. Damn near. This is a match that hid all of the things he couldn't do correctly anymore, but also with the right amount of bumps. Tell me you didn't jump out your seat and your heart dropped to your damn stomach when he took that suplex on the outside.
Outside.
Yes.
Man, I thought his bag. I mean, it's the Kanye gif of the knock you down video where Kanye falls back and then shit turns into pieces. I thought that was Stone Cold Steve Austin. I didn't know he had it in him, but I felt like adrenaline had his back. To be honest with you, I feel I need to see. Stone Cold is a very private person, especially when it comes to preparing his matches. I need to see what was going through his mind, what was going through his entire being. And I don't even, you know what? I can even hear it, because if he wants to talk about it on a podcast or something along those lines, or have a sit down interview with like Pat McAfee or something, I'm down with that. Because to be able to come back And I think he holds himself at a high regard, and he holds himself to a standard, which is why he never came back, because he never
Yeah.
felt like he could live up or work to that standard. And I think to be able to kind of like, you know, get over that hump, because it's not fucking car outside. Um, it's not a it's not a necessarily physical hump, although a
Right.
large part of it probably is, but it's a mental hump to get over and say like, I can do this. I just want to know what was going through his mind with that entire process, because he's having this match, and he's going back and forth. He's taking these beatings. He's getting thrown into the thing, and I'm like, yo, this is insane. Like, this is insane what we're watching. And he eventually hits the Stone Cold. He gets hit with a Stone Cold Stunner, which is also insane.
Pop.
Um,
Huge pop. It was like, yo, this is the most disrespectful thing I've ever seen. He gets hit with a stunner, bumps for it, and kicks out of it. Because remember, and one thing that's also cool about it, and I know you're about to get to it, it just took one stunner, not multiple. Because he don't like the kicking out of finisher shit.
yeah,
So they didn't do it.
absolutely. He only really does that with one or two people, and I think it's really been Triple H or The Rock, and that's because the feud kind of begged for it at the time. Um, but one stunner, a stun and done, and Stone Cold Steve Austin is the victor. Beer party, amazing. Oh, he comes out in the ATV. I can't even fucking forget that the ATV
Oh,
back. Um,
you know what? You know why this worked for me, and I gave it a perfect score, because it was more than playing the hits. He could have just came out, gave him a stunner, stomped him a couple times, poured beer on him, and left. Right?
mhm.
This wasn't just playing the hits. KO got his too. KO got his hits in too, and I thought that it was masterful the way that it played out, and um, it wasn't. It was literally not only just a love letter to people who loved him, but it finally felt like the goodbye that he wanted and the type of match that he wanted. And when he said no holds barred, I looked at Dom, I think Pat looked at everyone. I said, that's how they get around this.
Mhm.
And I said it was perfect. It was the perfect way to do this, where he wouldn't have to run ropes. I don't think he ran a single rope that whole match, and he wouldn't have to do anything. Say what?
No, nothing.
And I thought it was perfect. I went back and watched it, and I was like, it hits even more. Like, I was emotional watching it, bro. I was really emotional watching that. I was emotional during two parts, and that was Bianca winning and Stone Cold coming back. Like, you just can't get those. You can't get those feelings anywhere else.
Nah, to me, when I saw Stone Cold Steve Austin at MSG a couple years ago, I felt like I could die happy, because I never thought I would have the experience to kind of see him in any kind of capacity again, and just to kind of see him live, it's a different experience. You get to know why he's the biggest draw ever in professional wrestling. It's because of moments like this. He'll always have that connection. He will always. I said this on my tweet. Stone Cold Steve Austin can go down as one of the greatest characters in television history. Like, he has that sort of, and it's not like he's written, it's not like it's written well or something like that. The era, the time, everything is just, there's only one Stone Cold Steve Austin. That's kind of it at the end of the day. And he elicits this response from people, and it's incredible. Um to kind of touch about a lot of the other stuff on the card really, really quickly. The Usos defeat Shinsuke Nakamura and Rick Boogs. Shin-
I don't feel like they were supposed to win that
I
match. I
don't
feel like
either, but Rick Boogs too much dip on his chip or something.
well, here's the thing. Here's the eerie thing about that injury, Meelz. That was like, I think that was the same leg that he faked injured. So that's why people thought it was a joke. They thought it wasn't real, because they had just showed us that video package where he said that that leg hurt, right? And he does that spot. I think he's done that spot before with them.
Times, yeah.
And it just shows you that it can happen anytime. And not, I just feel really bad for him, because that was supposed to be his moment, and it got taken away from him. And, and especially with Shinsuke, that was his guy, man. And it just sucks so much.
At Mike's Hard Lemonade, it was the match, man. First of all,
They were
ending in general, but
they were all set up to win and have a big moment, and that just happened. It's just like, damn, sorry, Mikes. I know y'all wanted to have something to post on your Twitter, but
I mean, you still posted shit. Post the entrance, baby. Drew McIntyre defeats Happy Corbin. This is the first time we ever see someone kick out of the end of days. Um, I guess worth it for the encounter that it was.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, Drew should be the next guy. He should be the next guy. He's ready. It's either KO or Drew. It seems like Seth's gonna be preoccupied with Cody. So have Drew and KO or somebody face Roman again. Like just have it. Even though it's probably gonna be it's gonna be Brock, isn't it? It's gonna be Brock. Never
It's
mind.
gonna be some stupid shit. And then also in the, I don't even know if this is surprising. The Miz and Logan Paul defeat Rey Mysterio and Dominic Mysterio. Logan Paul had the crowd in his fucking hands.
He looked great. He looked great. He looked great. I mean,
Three Amigos, the frog splash, the pause. It was very a lot of these like professional remote, wrestling cues that even, to be honest with you, I feel like even to an extent that I feel like Ronda sometimes rushes through. Not to say Ronda
mhm.
isn't great at this, because I think even when you look at her debut match, I think she got it. I mean, she's in the ring with three amazing players and all this, but I think even though in some of her matches she rushes through this, Logan Paul just managing to hit the moments at the right time, hit the hard cam at the right time, to have all these things and know what works with the crowd and what isn't. I mean, it was a great showcase of his skills, man.
I hate to say it, man. Everything them boys do, they're good at. I hate to say that. Everything they attach to, they get really good at it. And he looked really good.
Now the Miz turns on him, and I think they're expecting like this Miz Logan Paul kind of feud where the Miz is going to be.
Oh, I had to tell you. 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 I waited for the show for this. This is my theory. You want to hear it?
Please tell me.
So Roman slipped up in an interview last week and said that Logan and Jake were both training. Did you see that?
No.
He said that both of them were actually training. They were both training to wrestle. And I said that's interesting because they did make sure to show him
Yeah,
behind commentary.
yeah, Jake Paul was on the pre-show as well. You probably didn't see that, but he was on the
I didn't
pre-show. He
see
was
that.
talking shit, cash shit too.
Yeah, so like he was on there, and I said that's interesting. They didn't have him ringside. They just had him commentator side. So I was like, okay, maybe they're waiting for something. Miz goes up to Mark from the Real World, and I'm gonna tell you right now, you know this. They will not put the camera on you
Right.
if you're not important. And they will probably tell Miz not to do that and to move away so they can get his shot at the end. What if it's the ultimate reality
Oh
showdown
my God! Don't say this because I'm.
where you have Miz and Mark versus the Paul brothers at Money in the Bank in Vegas, where the Paul brothers fight? That same weekend, there's a UFC card and something else. What better way to do that? It's only a couple of months away, Meelz.
Li-
Have Logan Paul come back in a couple months.
Listen, listen, listen. Don't even tempt me with that, because I want to see Road Rules and Real World get back in the bit.
But doesn't it make a little bit of
It
sense?
makes a little bit of sense, but I also think that that's a tall task for Miz. That's a tall task in general. I think for Logan Paul and Jake Paul kind of on their own in a tag team match. I mean, the Miz is definitely there with them, but I feel like they would need someone else on their side. Um,
I think if they continue to train, they can plan out a match where they can memorize all that shit. Because that's all Logan was doing, was memorizing what he was supposed to do.
no, you're
Because even
right.
Miz was missing cues. There was a point where he went up for the 619 and Miz hopped up too early. And I was like, Miz, chill, chill.
Like, shit, I'm a chill, but no, you're right. I mean, the whole Mark Long thing. If you don't, you guys know. First of all, also Mark Long is fucking ancient, so I don't even know if they would do that. No, I love Mark Long. I've met Mark Long many times. He's a.
But wouldn't you feel more comfortable Miz being on his team where he don't have to do much but do like a clothesline
I
and take a bump?
Absolutely. Mark Long is still one of the strongest guys that he's huge in stature, in celebrity, in power and strength. He can do this. Um so I would feel comfortable. It'll be interesting if you get the Miz and Mark Long versus Logan Paul and Jake Paul. that would be business on another level that I'm not fully prepared for as of yet. I'm just not
Yeah,
mentally. I'm there, but I'm not. Um,
right.
so that's interesting. So that was WrestleMania Saturday. Maybe we can rush through WrestleMania Sunday.
There wasn't much. I mean, it's really to me like
How was WrestleMania
it,
Sunday, that experience? I mean, I'm pretty sure I know basically from talking to all of you guys that you guys are pretty much aching.
we were hurt. We were hurt. I mean, it was the last day. We were tired. We get it. The crowd was not tired. There was a bunch of people who weren't there the first day that were there the second day, because we had the same seats, but there were different people in the seats both days. So like, I definitely see people either having switched seats or not come back or something like that, right? So like, I noticed people were getting upset at Undertaker coming out twice. And I was just like, well, it's not really fair. It's not fair to the other people that they don't get to see him, but everyone else gets to see. Like, I think it was a cool moment, and plus, he's from Texas.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Like, I
Stone
didn't see
Cold
the problem with
twice.
it.
We got Stone Cold twice. That was incredible. That was a great surprise. That was a great. I mean, maybe we can talk about this first. The whole, the Pat McAfee Austin Theory match, which ended up being pretty much. I feel like if Adam Cole was stuck around, this might have been an Adam Cole thing.
Absolutely,
Might have. But it's an Austin Theory thing. But nonetheless, Pat McAfee kind of played up everything that he kind of did in NXT, which shows that the developmental system works, right? Um,
yeah.
but he had a great match with Austin Theory, ends up defeating Austin Theory, and then we get the match. Maybe we were wrong in this instance, man. Maybe the match was always supposed to be Vince McMahon versus Pat McAfee, and we got the match.
There was, they was. I know they felt somewhat vindicated, but that was not what was advertised. So like, I'm not giving them the dub on that one.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
We
I'm,
got
I'm not giving the dub on that.
we got Mr. McMahon versus Pat McAfee in a singles match. The whole time I'm texting with my homegirl, I'm like, yo, I just want fucking Stone Cold Steve Austin to come out and stun this nigga. That's all I want. And that's what I felt like they were like building up to, because one, this made no sense. And two, like Mr. McMahon was beating the shit out of Pat.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It was like an old SmackDown game, or like WWF No Mercy or something along those lines, where you can play as Vince McMahon and really beat up whoever the hell you want. He was beating the hell out of Pat. Pat taking big bumping on clotheslines, tossed over the rope. Uh, he ends up getting pinned by Mr. McMahon, and we get that moment right there. And they're gloating. And then Stone Cold Steve Austin once again. How was that again, man? I couldn't deal with that, man. 2 times in one weekend. I was like, yo, can you come back on Monday?
And let me tell you one thing. It was louder on Sunday because they knew what he came down there to do. And I said, yeah, they got to kind of do this one more time.
Yeah.
And then I wish that they didn't do it one more time.
Listen, editing got it. Editing got in their bag with that one.
People were so upset. They were like, yeah, they edited it. I'm like, what the fuck did you expect them to do?
Yeah. That was the ugliest motherfucking stunner I've ever seen in my life, bro. That was the ugliest. But I think, I'm assuming he didn't expect the kick. He just expected the stunner.
And what was funny, the funny thing about that is Pat McAfee said he didn't know Stone Cold was coming out. He was just told to sell on the outside. He didn't know he was coming out. And two, he said that the kick is actually the worst part about the stunner because it's literally the toe, like the toe of his boot hit you in your gut. And he said that part hurt more than anything else he went through that night was the actual kick from the stunner.
Stone Cold Steve Austin beats your ass. Like, I felt even bad for KO, because I know it's not that KO can't take a beating, but
He was hitting for real.
yeah, Austin is notoriously known for laying that shit in. Got to make it look real,
Yeah,
kid.
he was hitting for real. Those punches, I'm shocked that he didn't have like there was a bunch of like people who had fucked up faces come Monday. So like I understood why they didn't have everyone do everything on Monday because they were beating each other's asses. Like AJ got popped with pyro on Sunday. Edge got popped a couple times. Like Cody got fucked up during his match. Like they were going in over the weekend, so I get them having a rest.
Absolutely. Let's go through the matches on Sunday real quick, and then we go to the main event and kind of talk about how this all goes down before we head into Raw. RK Bro defeats the Street Profits and Alpha Academy. It's still the best thing going, so why the hell stop it? To be
Yeah, don't stop it. Never stop it.
Yeah. Bobby Lashley defeated Omos at WrestleMania. Incredible.
They were ready. They were ready for that motherfucker to be a babyface, man. They were all in.
Yeah. And now he's back solo dolo. It's just interesting. We'll see how it sees. We'll talk about it on Monday Night Raw, but it's interesting he's back solo. Johnny Knoxville defeats Sami Zayn in arguably, in my opinion, the match of the night.
I would not argue that. I wouldn't argue that
And
at
I say
all.
that because unfortunately I fell asleep a little bit during the Edge and AJ Styles.
It was tiring. It was interesting. It was quite a choice to have Edge and AJ have a New Japan match in after that.
Yeah, yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Like,
yeah. Um,
uh, it
highlights
was
of this Knoxville Sami Zayn thing to you. What did the crowd go up for the most?
watching Eric during it, because that was definitely the Eric Abris match. That Eric is my best friend, my best man, and he was waiting for this match, and it did not disappoint. It did not disappoint him. I think the hand
The hand.
was
We couldn't see that
the
on camera,
hand.
so I never saw the hand until it actually pulled out. But I assume you guys saw the fucking giant hand sitting in the corner waiting.
Yes, we saw it. Yeah, we saw it.
They had
The,
tables,
the
those
hand,
mouse traps,
the mouse
the
traps,
the Al Snow Memorial Special, even though he's still alive. With the bowling ball,
the bowling ball stuff.
Wee
Like
Man with the
that was Stone Cold Pop. Stone Cold Pop when he came out. Yeah, listen, Sammy's one of the greatest of our generation, man. He's one of the greatest of our generation. It's proven right there. No one could have pulled that off the way he did it. Nobody,
picture.
Meelz.
He has a picture on his Twitter with Kevin Owens, and what does it say? I think it says that
We rock. We rock.
we rock. I was like, you damn sure do, man. Like, to see where you guys came and to see where you guys are at, I would have never thought in a million years that Sami Zayn from NXT, the guy who I never thought could turn heel or never should be heel, um, ends up as a heel and in this amazing, huge, incredible encounter um, with everything. And
Did I, did I say Sammy should have lost?
yeah, yeah, you
Yeah,
because I
I think
remember
I
I
did.
switched my vote. And yeah,
Yeah,
you're probably
I
right.
was like, Sammy should lose because I mean he's still Sammy. There's a story coming out of that.
Um, damn, I think Sammy took it down unless it was on KO's page. Hold on, might have been on KO's page. Yes, it was on KO's page. Rerule. Ha, that's so funny. I'm so happy for them, man. I really am. Like just as a fan. Um, the streak is over, my friend.
Yeah.
Sasha Banks finally got one at WrestleMania along with Naomi in a fatal four-way match for the women's tag team championship. Naomi Sasha Banks wins it. Black women are undefeated at WrestleMania 38. It is an incredible feeling. I was happy for her. Um,
1 for 7. Hey.
all you need is one, baby, to get on the board.
1 for 7. Hey.
Listen, shit. Best out of 11. You know what I'm saying? Best out of
Big
15.
head. Big head.
Best out of 15. You know what I'm saying? You're not out yet. Um, just great effort by all women involved in this match. I can't say too much more about it, but I think it was great effort by all women involved, and I think Naomi and Sasha Banks are the clear winners. I think, judging by them playing that promo on Saturday night about Sasha Banks, I was like, yo, no one should ever complain about Sasha Banks' role in this company because obviously they are behind the shit out of her. You know what I'm saying? Like, they realize that she's a potential star for them as well, and she's treated as such.
Mhm.
And wasn't no shenanigans, wasn't no Carmella Zelina thing, wasn't no Natalia thing. It's
Clean win.
just a clean win, clean as a whistle. Um, you're gonna have to tell me a little bit about this Edge and AJ Styles match. I legitimately woke up the next day and I was like, "Oh, Damian Priest came out."
No,
I didn't see any of it. When I tell you I didn't see it, I woke up in time for Sheamus and Ridge Holland, which is wild as fuck. But I didn't see any of this Edge and AJ Styles match. I dozed off.
the entrance was really cool.
I remember
Entrance
that.
entrance was really cool. The match, it was, listen, Edge isn't going 100 miles an hour anymore. So like I don't know why people expected that to happen. I think it was really interesting to have a match where the story is that AJ's moving slow because he can barely breathe because his abs are hurt. And Edge is also moving slow because his knee is hurt. And I said, okay, I get it. But after seeing everything that's come before y'all stayed the course with this. And isn't this just like the story of Edge, where the first match doesn't really hit as good as the second one does, right?
Yeah.
Like that's the story of his comeback. Where I was like, he's doing it again. I was like, they're overthinking this. They're overthinking this a lot, and I feel like it lost some people in the crowd. The one thing, but I think that when they got to the end, they were into it because they were trying to figure out what the story
I
was.
think WrestleMania, albeit you want to have, and I think as as someone in Edge and AJ Styles age, and not saying that they old, but you kind of do, you want to have that Ricky Steamboat versus Randy Savage match that's a classic, instant classic. You always want the instant classic at WrestleMania. But I feel like, especially nowadays in WrestleMania, the context of the show doesn't lend itself to having too many of these great matches. If you're in the main event, you kind of have the room to kill it. But in the middle of the show, overthinking it and doing all these things, it just doesn't add up. I think once you look at the pace of the show, you look at Johnny Knoxville, Sami Zayn, kind of everything, you kind of, I would survey kind of the context of the show as like, where can I fit in to add something a little bit different? And,
Right.
I mean, Damien Priest
It
came
was.
out, so that was interesting. I
I
was
mean, it was the
plug on that very, they pushed the button on that pretty early.
it was the rare moment where actual story came out of it, where it was like, okay, I got to see what happens next. But also a strange thing to have a match, which I thought was good. I thought the match was really good. It just wasn't for that show. That's like a Raw match where you can get a couple commercial breaks to get a break
Right.
from it for a second. And I thought the finish was really good. I thought Edge was really good. Again, I feel like Edge was like, I seen what you did in New Japan. I want to do that. And they did it instead of just having a comeback Edge match. Like I still think he's got a good streak going. I don't think the match sucked. I just think it was not right for that night. I would have rather them have a stipulation if they were going to do that.
Absolutely. Sheamus Rich Holland defeats a New Day in under 2 minutes.
Whatever, moving
Yeah, it
on.
was like, yeah, y'all got it. I mean, here is it go. Y'all want it.
I don't. No, nobody cared. No, nobody cared about that
I
match.
don't
In
care.
the
Even if they do it on SmackDown, I still wouldn't care, to be honest.
yeah, I don't care.
I'm happy Pete Dunne appeared on WrestleMania. How about
There you go. Yeah, there you go.
also? I mean, also on WrestleMania, Triple H came out, kicked off WrestleMania Sunday, threw his boots down in the ring. Surreal moment,
Good moment. Good moment. Good moment.
great moment. Let's talk about the main event, the biggest match of all time, the winner takes all
Mhm.
match for the WWE Unified for the unified WWE Universal Championship, which is what we're calling this now.
No, I think this it's called, I think it's called Undisputed WWE Universal Champion. I think that's what they were calling him last night.
I heard unified, but I'll figure it out. But um,
Because they keep saying undisputed.
Roman Reigns
Mhm.
defeats Brock Lesnar.
We were right. We were right.
I mean, yeah. I didn't expect anything different. I really didn't. I wasn't afraid. I wasn't anything. I didn't think this would be the end of the run. I think it was only going to continue with the run. Okay, so they use Undisputed on the WWE.com. Okay.
Yeah, I told you. They kept saying it last night. They said it like 15 times last
I
night.
felt like on commentary, yeah, they kept saying unified on commentary. But um, you know, was it their best match?
No,
No. But I mean, I guess we got it out the way.
it didn't need to be, man. People, I'm gonna keep it 100. People were tired. You know, like
Yeah.
play the hits. Play the hits and keep them going.
Spear me,
Was I expecting?
spear me through the damn barricade. You know, all the hits.
Yeah, yeah. Play the hits. Like it was just it was. They've done this match 100 times. This felt more desperate than most, where it was like they were both just trying to put each other away. It didn't feel. I didn't feel the blood feudness of it. I will say that that's my lone complaint about
I
it.
didn't feel drama at all. I really didn't.
Yeah, yeah. Other than when he took his gloves off, I didn't feel the oh I gotta kill this nigga. You know what I'm saying? I didn't feel that. But I think the last half was good. The spear counter into the Kimura was really like cool. People keep getting this like. Have you been seeing like the concern? Like, oh, he's gonna drop it. He's gonna drop the title. He's not. They would have told you by now. They told you when Finn did it. They would have told you. I don't get the concern about that.
I don't know.
People keep saying it.
I don't know when Roman is dropping this title, but it doesn't feel like anytime soon. There's no.
And definitely not because of an injury. They have kept him off shows before. They're not gonna keep that.
You might keep
And
him on both shows. To be honest with you, like, what's the point of having him jump back and forth between the show every week? And if he's the unified champion, he's in rare air. He is literally in God mode. He is in a different kind of space. You don't
he don't
even need him to
like,
be on the show every week.
exactly. Even if he is injured, they're not gonna tell you because they'll just keep him off the show because he doesn't have to be on the show. What he says on like I just feel like there was a bunch of concern about it, and I'm like, y'all need to relax. Like he's fine. He's selling. That's what he's supposed to do. People doing like the zooming in to the deep sea scrolls and shit. I'm like, chill out, y'all. Like they would have told y'all if he had to drop the title, and plus the dirt sheets would have told you already anyway.
Yeah.
Seeing as though they know every damn thing.
No, bro.
That's right.
Monday.
I was gonna put a clip of the Cody shit, but we're going long as hell, so let's just go straight to Raw.
Yeah. It sounds like your voice is trying to come back. Trying to make a comeback.
A little bit.
Monday Night Raw, we open up with Cody Rhodes.
He should have closed the show. That's my only complaint about the show. He should have closed.
I have several complaints about the show, but I agree that he should have closed the show. I think it would have added a lot more intrigue. If Roman does what he does in the closing of the show at the beginning of the show, I don't really feel as much angst towards it or like feel like I wasted time or anything of the rather.
It was odd. It was a little odd.
I thought it was why this is the most MMG of all type shits. The announcement of the announcement for the
Yeah,
release.
he came out. Thanks for coming, niggas. See you on Friday.
You got to experience me. He didn't leave anybody
Yeah.
home. He didn't leave him out with the acknowledge me. He was like, listen, acknowledge me. And everyone got their acknowledge me. And then he was like, all right, I'm out.
There you go. Like, he didn't need anything else. Watch on Friday. Listen, like I said, these motherfuckers was up and down the streets all weekend.
I
ain't mad at it.
I agree. But I also feel like, so my issue with this Raw kind of entirety, I feel I'm ready to move on to the next thing.
Right.
I don't want to see Street Profits versus Alpha Academy anymore. I don't want to see whatever tag team. I don't want to see Carmella, Corey Gray. I don't want to see that anymore. I'm ready to go. I don't want to see Finn constantly lose to Austin Theory anymore.
Which I feel like they're gonna do that weird shit where they have him face them for the title, and Finn's gonna beat him again. Yeah. And Finn's gonna beat him again.
I don't want any of that to happen. I'm ready to move on to the next thing. Cody adds a little bit of fresh air to the atmosphere of Monday Night Raw because I think it's another major player to the show.
Yeah, Rhea's thing is kind of interesting. I get why they left the Bianca thing. Bianca should have just had her moment on Monday. I agree with that. Like, that's fine. I'm not mad at that.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. Like, no interruption, no nothing. You kind of letting it settle in. It's like she's champion. This is kind of where we're going with this, and you leave it there, and you open up the door because
the second round. Hey, one thing I say about Bianca, the second round will be longer than the first one. I tell you what.
I agree. But you also don't want to, like you said to me in the text, you don't want to do sensory overload with everything.
Yes.
But nonetheless, I mean, we got
this ain't Dynamite. We don't gotta do a debut every week. You know,
we ain't. You got Sasha Banks and Naomi versus Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan in a championship contender match. Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan lose the championship contender match, but Rhea Ripley is able to persuade Adam Pearce
Angle, angle alert.
to still give him another title match. I was like, I guess you didn't want them to lose.
Angle alert.
Yeah, I know, but yeah, yeah, Angle,
But you didn't have them face each other. You could have just had a singles match or
yeah,
some shit.
something around those.
Liv could have still just lost. Um,
Are you ready for
what
this?
else? Oh,
Are you ready for this?
Edge. What Edge? Oh, yeah. Go ahead.
The no the because we're leaning into the same thing. I mean, Rhea Ripley is one of the rumored you know people to be included into Edge's new stable, which we saw kind of start to take form on Monday night. Um, got a little tweet on Brody
Mm-hmm.
King saying
Mm-hmm.
it's like if they bought House of Black on Wish.com.
I mean, he already shops on Wish.com, so I ain't never seen him in no designer in my life.
Here's the thing. I feel like now the mere fact you brought attention to this now immediately is going to downplay whatever House of Black is doing, which is not a lot, just in general.
I would losing to the Dark Order.
y'all not doing a lot. These guys are gonna start cooking on Monday Night Raw, and you're gonna wish you hadn't put those two, in contention for each other. And then I also think Edge will address it on Raw. I think Edge, you know, he's got
Well, Edge is definitely gonna throw
yeah,
shots.
got enough
Also, what?
and pettiness to throw some shots.
Like, what the fuck? What is wrong with y'all, bro? Like, relax. Y'all don't have to say everything to everything. Y'all don't have to talk about. You know what I'm saying? Just be cool, bro.
Just be cool. It's Edge.
Like, damn, just chill.
Even
Yeah, it's Edge.
is Malachi Black can't even say a word. He probably looking at this nigga like, yo, you fucking
Chill,
bro.
he's he's saying chill. I'm trying to go back.
Oh my god. Well, all right. So here's one of the new things we got on Monday Night Raw: the debut of Elias's younger brother Ezekiel.
He looks good, man. I think his younger brother looks really cool. He looks good.
That nigga,
Fresh
I
young
mean,
talent.
you need to grow a beard or something.
No, I mean, I think that his brother got the beard thing on lock, and Ezekiel has a. I think Ezekiel has a good look. I think his brother, his look was kind of very bohemian, and this guy clearly wants to just be a young upstart. Like he doesn't want to do the same thing.
Well, I hope he don't have the same matches that Elias had because I don't want to see that shit.
Me too. I hope he has some high flying offense. I don't know what Kevin Owens was saying. I completely just saw just Ezekiel. I don't know.
He called him Enrique, which is bad because now I'm never going to call him his fucking name anymore.
That's bad.
E. coli, Enrique, eczema. I'm calling him all types of shit.
That's crazy. Sorry for anyone who suffers from that.
Oh damn. Okay. Veer finally came.
He looks good, man. I've never seen him. He looks real good.
I think he was on Raw before. He just had to come back. He was on Raw.
I think he looks better. Rather, I don't think they have him doing this
He
much.
definitely looks better. I think the anticipation that they've been letting us do this for the last 6 to 7 months definitely build up to the moment where it became kind of a running gag, but you also started taking it seriously and wanted to see Veer show up, and him being up Dominic Mysterio is kind of the way to go.
You know what I didn't like? I wish he wasn't a heel.
I agree.
Is that weird? I wish he was actually a babyface.
It's giving me very Rusev.
Yeah, I just don't want to be a heel. I think he'd be a cooler, like a cool, swagged out babyface.
Yeah, he's a handsome guy, man. He's a beautiful man. So
Like Veer and Cody would make a really good tag team.
I agree. Well, I agree with that. I don't know if I agree with that. But
Cody and Coloreds.
he said his he accepted fault that his promo with Anthony Ogogo was absolutely tone deaf. I was like, oh, look at that, man. Look.
Cody is on. I guess we got to get to Cody now,
Yeah,
dude.
is
to end this.
he had to have a million people tell him that fucking promo was terrible before he was like, you know what, maybe it was bad.
What do you feel about him walking back everything he ever done, down to the Triple H thing, crying about Triple H, crying about Vince, saying Nick Khan was great? This guy's a good politician, huh?
I think he's an amazing politician. Like an amazing. He knows the right things to say. Don't granted with me. I feel like I don't know any of these people. I feel like the company also believes he's a great politician, but they're in the same boat with one another right now. So we just gonna work with it because at the end of the day, they all want the same goal. Um, but you know,
I
the
think that
promo on Raw was it was Cody.
it was Cody, and it came off really well to WWE fans, and it came off as it really, really honest, really. Listen, they're behind him, man. Like he's one of the biggest baby faces in that company right now, in a company that needs a baby face like that. It's just the truth. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Here's the thing, though. I hope he doesn't cut a promo like that every week.
true.
I don't need the politics. I don't need the tears. I don't need the belly. I don't need to be like risen up by Andre Day every fucking week. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
At some point, it doesn't. It's not going to be about you. It's going to be about what's in service to the program itself. So I think this is. I'm giving him a pass for this promo because this is his return promo. This is him first talking back.
And it was a
It
good
was a good
promo.
promo, but I don't want to see this every week. Give me this every
Right.
week. I need you to be like now. You got to be ingrained in the system, and now we got to start like doing fucking stupid shit.
And it looks like WrestleMania Backlash. We're gonna get Cody Seth Part 2.
It looks like it.
Um, and he's gonna be a fixture, and it's every week. He said he's gonna be there every week, and you know, this is what we have to look forward to. I think he comes off really well. He comes off as larger than life in a way that it looked funny when he did that shit in AEW, and you know, people rightfully ragged on him for that because just the arenas were just smaller, right?
It's different context
And
with that wrestling show and what Cody was doing. It didn't fit within the
yeah,
context of the show.
no, he is a sports entertainer, and he made a sports entertainment presentation and everything. Like he is what you should aspire to be. Like he looked like he belonged there, and it looked like he hadn't missed a step, and that's why I'm not complete. Like I had to call a spade over the weekend. I was like, yo, I didn't give a shit. I didn't give a fuck about any of this shit. And then when this shit happened and I saw everyone get excited, I was like, bro, I gotta call a spade a spade. Niggas is fucking with this. People are really fucking with this. And then the match was good. And I was like, yo, this was actually all right.
Yeah.
And then Monday was okay. Will he let me down next week? That's completely possible. That's completely possible. But for the first 3-4 days, from interviews all the way up, I'm gonna call his bluff, and I'm gonna let this play out. And I think a lot of people should. They should just let it play out.
Lipo gang, we in the building.
This is our next project. It's Cody Rhodes. It's gonna be the biggest project. This was you know, this Bianca was we knew. It was we knew. You can't keep good people down. Cody is the biggest head. The biggest head. What's about to happen here? So yeah.
We had an NXT title match on Monday Night Raw. I saw some critiques on it, mainly because they said, why would you have whatever happened on Saturday happen, and then why would you then do this now on Monday Night Raw? I thought it was simple.
Yes. To get him a win on a show people fucking watch.
Simple.
on the show, to get him on the Raw that people watch more than any other Raw of the year.
And to do a title change on that Raw, by the way.
And to do a title change on that Raw. So people can say
titles,
maybe
I know that's for sure.
And to do it with someone who they see as their next big guy, and to have a pretty damn good match and say, damn, I didn't know NXT wasn't just fucking goofs and dorks anymore. They got real niggas there now. All right, I'm gonna go watch that. What they've done with the call ups and stuff like that and the integration is organic. It just is.
It is. Can't even lie. One final thing, I guess. Didn't expect this to be the note that we hang on. MVP, you know, betrays Bobby Lashley. He's now with Omos. Where do we see
Mhm.
the future of Omos now that he's aligned with MVP?
He'll be on TV more often. He might even get a title. He might get a title shot soon. He might get a title because he got somebody that can talk for him and not just be his tag team partner. He needed this. He needed to grow. Bobby needs to grow away from that. He's a. I see Bobby getting the title again if he's a babyface. You know,
I don't know. It's really tough with the baby faces and titles. I actually don't see Bobby getting, because it's weird, right? Like Edge, great run over the last 2 years as a baby face. I see him getting the title in this incarnation of his.
yeah, yeah, 100%. I honestly see them holding all the Raw
Yeah,
titles inside. If they add Champa.
I see. So WWE, always, I feel like they have this thing where like only heels can win, or something along those lines, or you have to be bad to win. Chris Jericho never won the title as a face. Um, Edge,
But then Bianca kind of flies in the face of that
yeah,
though.
no, you're right, you're right. Um,
Twice in a row, twice in a year is
I
crazy.
agree, I agree. But I feel like certain characters like Bobby, I don't know if he'll ever get it as a face. I'd be surprised if he did, because it's just easier to beat face Bobby than it is heel Bobby. Um, and Edge and Damian, Damian Priest. I mean, this Edge and Damian Priest thing. Let's just kind of close on here. It's a great.
They, they tried to derail that so bad, and I thought that Damian showed a lot of resiliency during that
Well,
segment
see, impress
by
Edge. Edge standing right next to him.
huh?
I said I feel like he has to impress Edge. Like Edge is standing right next to him. He's got to be
Yeah,
like, yo, I got to be on my p's and q's right now.
absolutely. I thought Ed very telling idiots was hilarious. They tried to throw that off so much, and they managed to like Damian looked like a pro out there.
So
Um, when
idiots,
he
and then it was like, yeah,
like we are sheep, we are losers, and stuff like that. Like they tried to do the Raw Mania shit, and I was like, Edge, for one, Edge is the wrong person to try that shit with. So I don't even know who told them, who put them up to that, because Edge is the wrong person. He's too good.
also, y'all try that shit too late. Y'all was asleep more than half the fucking show.
It was like 10:40 when they
Yeah,
tried that
y'all want to
shit.
wake up at fucking 10:30 and start a rocket. If y'all don't sit y'all asses down, that's why Roman left. Roman was like, yo, I got time for this.
Enjoy the rest of the show, fuck you idiots. I thought it was good. I need a name, and I need for them, because when Edge speaks, it doesn't seem to be like a spooky you know, like a spooky crew. It doesn't seem like it's gonna be that, because he seems like he's just like a creepy motivational speaker.
The suit. I don't
But
like the suit thing. I don't know. It's just weird.
I think he looks dapper in this suit. I think Damien looks better than whatever the hell he
I,
used to
I
be
I think
wearing.
Damien looks better. I don't know about Edge. Edge to me in a suit is always just because like I know he's not a suit guy, but I mean he is for this gimmick because he got to make it work. But like we also got like 8 other suit guys on the roster, so I don't know. It's just maybe I need new flavors from Edge in the suit game, but we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah,
So I think we've got the majority of your voice back
yeah, a lot
with
of it. It's
size.
in and out. It's in and out.
um so I want to actually thank everybody who's listening for continuing to listen, even though this man absolutely had the time of his life at WrestleMania, and he's still dealing with the casualties of it all. But nonetheless, we still provided damn near 2 hours of talking about wrestling for you guys, and we continue to do this every week on the A Show. You can subscribe to the A Show at the A Show on RNC Radio and anywhere you listen to podcasts, Apple, Spotify. Um, You can subscribe to the A Show on Twitter at the A Show RNC. You can follow myself at Meelz TV. You can follow Justin at OG Johnny 5. Make sure you guys also follow the Black Print on, the Black Prince feed as well. We got so much stuff going on. The new collaboration with Amazon's AMP app. Make sure you guys tune into that. This is a big thing from RNC Radio. So, we love you guys to continue to support us in every endeavor that we have. And of course, I'm sure Cyrus, I don't know if he'll be losing his voice at the end of this, but he'll be back later this week for the War Report. Um, and we're still going to throw up some Patreon shows on the main feed. So make sure you guys stay tuned to that. We're going to throw up some Patreon. Thank you guys. This has been 1 year of Patreon support for us. And this has been an amazing year. And we can't thank you guys enough for, we've thought of so many different ways of how to continue to build our service, and this is just kind of one of them that we've been talking about for years. And for you guys to continue to support us for an entire year means the world to us. So thank you guys. Thank you guys. Thank you to, again, we didn't say we were going to say this on the main feed, we said it on the Patreon. Thank you to everyone who appeared on our WrestleMania prediction show: Trevor, Mimi, the whole crew, the A Show crew, and everyone in between. Yeah, I mean, we're back. More episodes coming down the pipeline. Thank you guys for tuning in. Any final words, Justin?
No.
Well said. We will see you guys next week. Take care.